though.
Hey.
Don't let the grain fool you. Keep my name out your mouth.
He was talking a little spicy. One, to call another individual, another grown man, insecure it's a shot. Yeah. And then he said he need to keep my coach's name out his mouth, another shot.
That's like the mob tie talk right there.
Straight up. Ooh. Joy, did Aaron Rodgers cross the line with his comments?
No, not at all. That's his guy. That's his guy. And look, I have no problem with what Sean Payton said, because as far as I could see and read, he didn't tell not one lie.
I see one lie.
But if Aaron, like, he put some energy out. Aaron want to match that energy, okay. Like, it's not like it came out of nowhere and Aaron's just like, keep my name out your mouth. Like, his name was in his mouth, so it's all very accurate. A lot of accuracy is going on around here. And Sean can handle it, and that's part of the reason why I think Sean walked it back, because there's, like, some codes in businesses, in pretty much all business, where if you call somebody out, you're inviting a certain amount of attention, for one, and two, other people, your peers, might not like that you have put someone's name in your mouth or addressed a certain type of situation, even if you are right. If somebody goes out and has a, horrible job calling a game or something, you're not going to see a lot of people in our business come out and drag them for their performance. The one thing I will push back on, though, and I understand Aaron Rodgers, standing up for his guy. I have no problem with that whatsoever. That's what he should do, really. The one thing, though, is I think sometimes when really colossal breakdowns happen, like what happened with the Broncos, we sort of we don't want to talk too much about how bad it was, right? We don't want to bang on somebody. We don't want to make too big of a deal of it. And sometimes it gets lost how bad it actually was. Mm-hmm. Conceivably, that year could cost Russ the Hall of Fame. Like, it was that bad of a year. And when coaches get fired, we only talk about the head coach getting fired. We don't talk about the long list of people that are also losing their jobs, and the families that have to move, and the players that had a relationship with that guy that they might have brought in or they were developing that now have to pivot their entire career, or many other repercussions that come from that one person doing a really bad job. So I'm not saying that Nathaniel Hackett, deserves to continuously get piled on, but Sean Payton told the truth. It was a disaster.
Yeah.
And maybe Sean walked into a bigger pile than he was planning on walking into. Now that he got in the building, he was like, wow, I thought it was bad, and now I know it is so much worse than I thought it was. I do think that he walked it back because somebody came to him and was like, hey, you know how it is. We don't, you know what I mean? Whatever.
Sean Payton, you ain't on Fox.
Wait, so he said.
I'm gonna do it for you.
Right.
I'm with you, Joy, wholeheartedly on everything you just said. Now, I agree with what Sean Payton said. Sean Payton didn't tell not one lie. Furthermore, Sean Payton didn't call Nathaniel Hackett by name. He said it was one of the worst coaching jobs collectively, because coaching implies head coaching, assistant coaching, coordinating. Every coach that was in that building, head by Nathaniel Hackett, It was one of the worst jobs I've ever seen. Why did Sean Payton say that? Well, duh, you want to protect the self-esteem of the current Broncos players. Because if it wasn't Hackett, then it was me, Russell Wilson. And if it wasn't me, then it was Hackett. So Sean Payton just wanted to make it abundantly clear, hey, it wasn't the players in this locker room. One of the worst head coaching jobs I've ever seen. Now, as for Aaron Rodgers, I'm with it, Shady. Reason being, Nathaniel Hackett, he can't snap back at Sean Payton. He doesn't have the resume. Who are you, Nathaniel Hackett? As a head coach, you were abysmal. The most you've ever done is be a great offensive coordinator for Green Bay Packers teams that didn't even make it to the dance. So Aaron Rodgers has to step in for Nathaniel Hackett, because Nathaniel Hackett can't go with Sean Payton himself because he's not on level playing fields.
That's smart, yeah.
His resume's not the same. But Aaron Rodgers going to walk into the hall, too. Aaron Rodgers got a Super Bowl like Payton got a Super Bowl. So Rodgers can fix his lips and say, hey, keep my coach's name out your mouth, because Hackett knows he can't fight that fight.
You know what? I love it, though. And I don't think A-Rod was out of line. I just think, listen, in life, I learned this, right? You got things where you're going to be a better person and walk away, or you can respond. A-Rod wanted to respond for his coach. You can tell that him and Hackett has a special relationship, right? He talks about him all the time. And as I look at Sean Payton, just knowing him, he's a competitor, and I truly think that he just was speaking honestly. Like, you know what? When I took this job, I didn't know what to expect. I know they got Russell Wilson there. I know they got some good defense players. They had a bad time with the offense and some bad, play. But then when he probably got this, like, wow, it's worse than I thought. So knowing that he probably spoke on it. Now, he probably should be more professional because he's, like A-Rod said, he's a bigger guy. He's a big-time coach. You don't have to stoop down to talk about another, a team or another coach. But I loved it. I'm here for that. And if he don't want to talk about it, I will. If they're bad this year, I'm going to speak about it. Because I'm going to have my Fox hat on. I'm going to have my speak hat on. And I'm going to speak. I'm going to speak about it.
Joy, you saw Sean Payton earlier today said it was done. He said, people are saying that Sean Payton is incredibly strategic, that this might have been some sort of mental chess game that he's playing. Do you think it was all that, or you think it was just Sean Payton being honest with his assessment of what happened in Denver last?
No, I think he was just being honest. Because if he was being strategic about it, I don't think he would have bothered to walk it back. I really think he walked in the building and was like, I got to fix all this. Like, I thought I was just about to do this. And I got to build this thing from the ground up. Again. So I think he was he was being honest. Sean is a very straightforward guy. I think he did, he said he still had his Fox hat on. I think he was just talking, and he wasn't back into the coach speak of things where he doesn't call out other teams and doesn't put up bulletin board material. Like, it's not very common of coaches specifically to do that.
What else is fascinating, though, sometimes, and this happens a lot on social media, on Twitter, when you tweet something out and you think like, oh, yeah, everybody thinks that. Like, you just tweet out like, Crawford, the top 10 boxer of all time.
Dead or alive.
Dead or right? You say something and it's like, oh, surely everybody thinks that.
Right.
Then you check social media and people going at your head. Daniel Jones, right? Saquon Barkley's the driving force of the Giants. Check social media and all Giants fans are coming at Joy's net. I think Sean Payton did that about the Broncos. I think Sean Payton was sitting here like, one of the worst coaching jobs in history. Surely we all agree, right?
Right.
And then it got back to like, oh, this was below the belt. This was a cheap shot. Shouldn't have been said. Y'all play each other week 5. Why bulletin board material? I really think, Joy, that's what happened. I think Sean Payton said something that he thought was objectively factual, and then everybody got sensitive.
Can I ask you this for a second? What if Russell ball out this year, though? What if he just ball out like the Russell we know? Then what? You gonna feel like the worst job was? Come on, yeah.
And that's part of the reason why it is possible. Well, let's be honest. Both these teams better be really good this year.
True.
Yeah. Both of them.
Yeah.
Both of them.
Whoa, hold on. No.
And if the Broncos aren't good,
the Broncos don't have to be as good as the Jets.
No,
because they go underneath the radar. We didn't talk about the Broncos since the hiring of Sean Payton and then now.
Yeah. No,
so they get a little pass.
They have a little bit of a pass.
Yeah.
But I think we'll be able to see if Russ is back or not. Like, if the Broncos as a whole aren't singing just yet, that's fine. But we need to see Russ get back to looking more like Russ. I agree with you there. But both of them better have growth.
I agree.
So there's pressure on both of them. But I'm with you. If Russ is amazing this year, Sean can have Hackett's name in his mouth all he wants to.
What if he's just good, though? I don't need the Russ to even be like the old Russ. Because I think that when you're with a really, really good coach and an offensive coordinator like a Sean Payton, you don't have to be great. He's going to put you in position to win, right? To be efficient, to get on the third down, to make these plays. I don't think he's going to go out there and be like an MVP type of candidate.
This is what's fascinating. There are so many ways for a quarterback to be looked at as great.
Yep.
You can individually, statistically ball.
Yep.
And we'll all be like, oh, yo, he's great. Yeah. Or your team can play really well.
That's true.
And we'll be like, oh, no, he's great. Russell Wilson, he just has to pick one of the two.
Right.
Either statistically, individually, go crazy, or let the Broncos be 11-6. Let the Broncos be 12-5. Let the Broncos be even 10-7.
I'm about to say, you getting crazy.
Yeah,
10's good.
Crazy.
They were, bro.
They're bad.
I bet every game against them. Once I seen how they were, I'm like, oh, they battling with the Seahawks? Oh, yeah, lay that money out.
Joy, I got a question for you. What not enough people, I think, are really paying attention to is the change of Aaron Rodgers. Y'all do realize Aaron Rodgers stood up for his coach. Aaron Rodgers typically hadn't done that. Remember, Aaron Rodgers called out his coaches in the past. Matt LaFleur, after the 2020 season, lost to LeSean McCoy's Bucks as LeSean McCoy's Bucks were headed to win a Super Bowl. Aaron Rodgers, he doesn't hang out with young teammates. Romeo Doubs, third-round pick of the Packers last year, said, I did not hang out with Aaron Rodgers outside the facility. But now Aaron Rodgers is defending coaches, hanging out with young teammates along with old teammates alike. Aaron Rodgers is showing up for OTAs. This Aaron Rodgers is completely different than the Aaron Rodgers last year in Green Bay. Are you buying it? How long does it last? Where do you stand on it? Have you noticed it? What's your thought?
Oh, yeah, we've noticed it. He's doing something different. I think he maybe has changed a little bit. I think, when you get out of a situation, you've been in it for a long time, you unappreciated, You know what I mean? They kind of played you a little bit. You just, you get out into a new city. It's New York. The lights are bright.
Yeah.
Everyone's happy you're there. Everyone's excited, saying nice things about you. This is a honeymoon period. Look at him. Look at him. This is so awkward. It's the most awkward thing I've ever watched.
Think about him with change.
Yeah, he loves it.
But you know what? I'll say this.
See that hug?
He looks like he's happy to be there.
Yes.
I remember being traded, and I was so angry. Like, how you trade me? And then when I get to the Buffalo Bills, I'm like, oh, they want me here. They're happy to see me. Mm-hmm. And if you recall, when he was even talking about going to the Jets, all the young players, they talked about him, tweeting about him. We want him. So they want you there. Then he gets there. Not only was it tweets, they're showing it.
Yeah.
The coaches, the players, they buying them gifts. They go into games. I'm sure it was like, oh, hey, guys, I'm going to the game today. You want to go? I'm sure it was like, yo, we going to the game. Hey, where you want to go? Yeah, boom, bet. Then, you know what? I like these guys. Now he's repaying the favor. Y'all want to go to the game? And it becomes a bonding thing. So I think I love the new A-Rod. Even going to training camp, or not training camp, mini camps, the OTAs, you don't have to do that. But they want him there, and he wants to be with the team. So why are you looking at me like that?
It's very different to me.
Why are you looking at me like this?
Because I'm wondering this, Shady. I'm wondering if it's
the blue.
Are you more? Is it say more about the Packers or the Jets? This new Aaron Rodgers. Does it say more about you've been traded? Well, I've been traded before too, I guess. But you've been traded Eagles. Bills, does this change say more about Packers?
It's both. Jets? You know why it's both? Because I think one is, when you're there for so long, it gets redundant. It's like, all right, I'm here again. And it's always up and down with the management. It's like, oh, you drafted my replacement. I'm mad about that. Oh, contract, up and down. Then you go to a new place where they haven't had an Aaron Rodgers. See, the Packers haven't had an Aaron Rodgers before. Nothing new. They had that. You go to the Jets, and they had that. It's been a long time. So now we have this guy in the building. We want to show him how much we care about him. And then when you have that feeling, if you're somewhere that you like and you love, you play better. You do better.
In Green Bay, he was tolerated. With the Jets, he's being celebrated.
I like it. Say it one time like you said that.
In Green Bay,
you do your thing,
he was
girl.
Tolerated. In New York, he's being celebrated.
Holla.
It's a different experience.
Yeah.
And he's leaning into it. Also, it's entirely plausible that he's excited about playing football again. It was a kind of a toxic situation in Green Bay. And the season was bad last year. And he wasn't really great last year on top of it. For whatever the reasons it was. He was, maybe he was hurt. It was just not playing well. He might just be in a situation now where it's a new experience. He spent his entire career in one place. He's experiencing something new and leaning into it. Like, that's a very human experience.
He gave $30-something million.
$35 million.
You know he loves it over there. What are y'all talking?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, you get $30 million? That's in my pocket already?
Yeah, that's a lot of money.
You know he loves to be there.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
It's a lot of money.
That's
I have to give him credit.
That's a new A-Rod. Old A-Rod ain't doing that.
First of all, that's crazy amount of money for anyone, A-Rod or anyone, to get back, especially when it's guaranteed money.
Guaranteed.
Like, this was in the bank.
With Devontae Adams, he took that 50 and said, yo, y'all try to get him a deal. Instead of saying, you know what? Get him done first, and then I'll get my money. So he a different A-Rod.
He a different A-Rod, and we will see what that means.
Subscribe here to get the latest from Speak, and go watch a few segments from our other shows on FS1.